Good morning. Let us once again take a rambling walk down into town. It's 5 kilometers that way. And I'll walk 5 kilometers back, which is uphill, unfortunately. I'd rather walk up to town and then walk back down, but whatever. I got some medicine I need to get. That's the only reason I'm going there. I actually need to drive in and get dog food and stuff like that. But my van is acting up. Transmission's going out. It's actually dangerous to drive it. So I'm about to be stuck in the forest without a vehicle, which is a very, very bad thing. And I need to get that van out of here. I can still drive it, but I need to get it fixed. But that's way across the lake to get it fixed, and that's a whole different drive and other problems. I'm working on a way to maybe get it fixed closer or replaced or whatever. Anyway, that's my problem. That's not your problem. But it's a beautiful day out. It's kind of cloudy, which is nice. I've got my rain jacket with me. And I'm going to just do a couple little clips probably on the way. I have a lot of stuff I'm thinking about that I don't feel like sharing right now. My life's pretty much falling apart and not going to get better unless I take some really extreme action to make it get better, you know. Damn, it's beautiful out. I have some ideas I was going to talk about, but this is an issue with me, is I have all these ideas, and some of them I don't quite want to share yet. And in general, I believe information should be free. I think that makes the whole world much richer if we just share information, and that's why I like things like YouTube. You know, some people have called YouTube University, and it is amazingly great. We can just look stuff up and find solutions, and I want to provide a lot of those cool solutions to things, and some other ideas I have are creative ideas that I want to give them away, but I want to do them first. I want to be the first one to do it. So, you know, I guess even describing an idea and then someone else does it is still a win. It's still very cool, but some of them are really special to me, and I just think are so outside anything I've ever heard of that I do want to be a little, not proprietary with it, but I guess I just want a little gold star on my record that I was the first guy to do it. And some of them I'll do and my name won't even be on it. My face won't be on it for either security reasons or you know, for some reason I don't want to be judged for it, because some of them are pretty extreme. And maybe on the clips I do today, I'll have to sort them through and not include them in this longer video of walking to town. But I do appreciate anybody who is becoming a fan of mine on this new channel. That you find my ideas interesting enough. I hope to be moderately extreme in my viewpoints. I certainly don't expect people to agree with me. I think this need to have everyone else agree with you is bogus. It shows a character flaw and weakness that you think everybody should agree with you. You know, a lot of people are angry with each other because somebody has a different point of view. Well, everybody has a different point of view than I have. So I wouldn't even be able to judge that way if I tried. Yeah, so thank you. Later on, I'm going to have ways to donate to me. There are some now, but I don't feel like saying them right now. And I don't even want people to donate to me if they... I guess I'm not going to beg for donations, you know. I want people who are inspired by me and think I have value to donate. And believe me, a small amount to me is a lot. I live on really damn near nothing. But I'm not also living the way I want to live, because I have projects I want to do that will require tens of thousands of dollars in financing. And I'm not willing to take investors who want to, you know, I've had offers of like people who want to use me in some way to benefit, and it's like I don't want to enter into that relationship. I'm still in a little bit of debt. I don't know if it's a little bit or a lot, depending, but it's way more than I can handle. So I want to get out of that. I've never been in debt before in my life, but I had an accident a while ago, a medical issue, where I guess I could just say it, I broke both my legs, both femurs in 2 spots each. And boy, that'll really throw a wrench in your life. Mixing my metaphors here? I think so. I'm not really awake. Maybe someday I'll buy coffee again. Coffee's not a bad drug, is it? See, I was raised to think coffee was bad. I was raised really hardcore by any normal standards. It was nice. It wasn't bad. It just, in fact, it was very good. Like, I don't eat white sugar. I have some pieces of candy every year. I better get walking, not just chatting in the fucking field here. This is actually supposed to be a soccer field. It was a soccer field. And ideally it would have like some sides of it with seating and it could get cleaned up. And this would be a great piece of land to buy. I mean, I don't care about soccer very much, so it's not really my thing. I like basketball better. I like local basketball, you know. And I have thoughts about sports. Like, your sports should be local. And you should be able to have your sports heroes be people you can buy a beer for, you know, that you can actually know. Same thing with music, you know. I think your favorite musician should be the musicians that play near you, that you can go see them. You know, I believe in supporting your local economy and not sending your money off to somebody far away. Not that that's bad either, especially not if it's me. I'm far away from everything. But either one's fine. You know, a lot of things I say, I don't even necessarily agree with me, you know. I'm spitballing ideas. I'm just playing with notions a lot of the time. And so as you listen to me, and, you know, I'm going to say shit that pisses you off at some point. I'll hit some red button or hot button for you that triggers you. It's like, if you're easily triggered anyway, I wouldn't even recommend watching my videos, because I can guarantee you I'm going to piss you off somehow. And this whole idea that we have to hate everyone else who doesn't agree with us is just, it shows a weakness of character that is disgusting to me. You know? If you're that way, then you've been raised in too isolated an environment, or you've picked an issue that everybody has to think this way, or they're horrible, they're really evil. And it's like, no, perfectly legitimate, good people have totally different views than you. Their lifestyle is different, their values are different, and yeah, they might be ignorant, they might be dumb, they could even be evil. But we got to deal with each other, you know? And so let's find a baseline of ethics we all agree on, or at least some of us agree on, the people around you, the people you're willing to invest in, you know, and having ethics that you would teach your children. Because some people are just raised with being given everything, and they think everything in life should be free for them. And I unfortunately, well, it's fortunate actually, because it was very educational. I hosted just tons and tons and tons of people with no filter. And I lost in that interaction. But I also should appreciate what I gained. Because like I was talking to a guy the other day, you know, I've never had a customer service job. At least not one that paid. I was definitely in a customer service role with a bunch of people I had visit me, but it wasn't like I was getting paid to do it. I lost money the whole time, and that's how I ended up the way I am. But I should appreciate that I learned a lot from that about how people really are. And I still don't know how people in general in the world are, but I know what certain types of them are like. And I do read very fast on social media. And of course, that's just the worst of people. So I've tended to start to be misanthropic and think the worst of people, because my primary social interaction is online. So, but that's an incorrect view of the world. You know, it's like if you were a cop or something. I did a ride-along a long time ago, and I was in high school. I did a ride-along with somebody who worked for the, I think it was state police. Really great guy. I'm not going to say his name because I'm trying to increase privacy and stuff, but he was very impressive, and he was just dealing with a bunch of people on their very worst day, doing the worst things, hopefully, I mean, some of them just live that way. They're just always going around damaging other people and probably in and out of jail all the time. But the view that he must have developed over the years of always dealing with that would change your view of what humanity is. And I guess I would like to think that most people out there who aren't famous and they're not well known for their crimes and what they do, I would like to hope that most of them are actually really good people. You know, they just want to raise their kids, have a little food. So even as I criticize in my videos various other lifestyles and the whole way we're dealing with civilization, I never want you, the person listening to me, that's weird. Somebody's over there. They just zipped away real quick. I don't want you to feel personally attacked because, I mean, I'm just talking to a camera. So if you feel personally attacked by me, don't take it personally. It's not you. I don't know you. I'm not qualified to judge you or your points of view. I'm the person spying on me. This person is acting suspicious. It's a young person. I think he's just... Actually, I have no idea what that dude's doing. I do occasionally worry about my security while I'm out here walking alone because I'm vulnerable. I don't have my team of dogs with me because I don't want them going into town. But it's going to be a long walk today. Yarg, it's slippery. At least it's been raining though. So, you know, I guess if you've watched my videos so far, you understand, or you're learning how I think, that it may seem even disjointed because I go from topic to topic. I attach one thing to another thing. I sound like I'm nuts probably, but maybe I am. I don't care, you know. I'm a responsible, good person. Very good at being crazy. Yeah, that guy's just walking off. He just didn't know who was coming, so he wisely was avoiding me. Looks like he's like probably like 17 or something. And it gets into, I mean, there's a word I never use, ever, with people, and that's love. Because the word as it gets used often seems very manipulative. You know, people say they love you because they want sex from you or they want to, you know, get something out of you. And so I guess I've just heard that word misused so much that I don't like it and therefore I don't use it. But I do actually have a love for the world. I hope that everything I do is a labor of love. You know, I'm sure not making money off of it. You know, I used to work in a corporation that would pay me huge amounts to just create stuff. And I left all that, which by normal standards would be considered dumb, you know. Leaving the industrial world, leaving the corporate world, and all that wealth that it provides. And boy, was it a lot. That was a long time ago. I haven't had a real job in a long time. So, my point there. Oh yeah. So I feel like I have this generalized love for the world, you know? This generalized thing that, like, if you were to take the drug ecstasy, MDMA, MDA, whatever it is, I like that drug, actually. I've not done it that many times in my life. I think maybe 10 or something over many, many years. But one benefit of that drug, and I would suggest if it ever became legal and pure, that many people should take it like once a year. Hopefully with, you know, people you really like. And you just kind of, it encourages this feeling of like, despite us all being different, despite the mess of the world we live in, that, you know, we're just trying. We're just animals. We're fancy apes. And even people who do things we consider bad, I don't know that we have to hate them. And I think that any hate that we have actually pollutes us more than anything else. And I don't know if hate is the antonym of love or not. It could be that selfishness is, although that doesn't sound quite right either, you know. Because like I haven't been selfish enough. I should be more selfish enough to take care of myself. You know, I'm like a monk in some ways that, you know, I live off of donations of other people. That's very hard for me to respect. It's one of the reasons it's very hard for me to ask for money and help. It's been very difficult. I would rather live in a fairly terrible way than seek out comfort at the expense of others. And most comfort does come at the expense of others. So, you know, one of the things I'm trying to do is to create a cultural framework in which other people who visit me next time, if I figure out how to have people in my life again, is to set up a cultural framework and a physical framework and infrastructure that encourages people to act pro-socially while also benefiting themselves. I want win-win. And that's not what most people are looking for in the world. They're looking for take. You know, it's the takers. I think Daniel Quinn, in some of his books, he wrote Ishmael, a guy talking to a monkey, a gorilla. And then he wrote Story of B, which was a sequel to that. He wrote one I liked better, which was Beyond Civilization, which is just essays. And personally, I like my thought to not be couched in fiction generally. Although I did grow up reading a lot of utopian fiction. I really like that genre. But he talks about the takers and the givers. And I have found that the vast majority of people are takers. And I don't want to know any of them. I want to collect givers. People are looking, how can they help and do, you know, how can they contribute? And the people I've met like that are just amazing people. But like me, some of those people have put themselves in situations that they've allowed themselves to be used by people because a bunch of people are just out looking for who they can take from. And I imagine, you know, a space in which I only collected people who are givers. And of course they also take. We all take and give. But that's the interaction I want, rather than people who are just focused on manipulating people. Some people call people narcissists who are like that. I don't know what the definition of that is. Of course, there's other people who would just say, you know, posting a bunch of videos of yourself online is narcissistic. It is. I don't think it is really. If I was more narcissistic, I would try and look good, which I did just make a video about, trying to maybe look better and dress better and, you know, look like something, not nuts. But I also feel like a lot of other people are doing that, and I don't trust them. I don't trust their fake happy smile masks that they wear, or, you know, I mean, you know, and this is because of social media, the way it's working now, is you got lots of people who aren't really providing any thought. A lot of them are cute women, which is, you know, I'll look at them, but they need to offer a lot more than that. You know, being cute's not good enough. In fact, if you're a cute young woman, you should be building your character. You can still look good. You can still benefit from being cute. Great. Even if, you know, people send you money just for being cute. Great. But you should be building up your character, learning a lot, because that cuteness is going to go away. You're going to get older. And you could still be an absolutely beautiful person until you die. Age does not make you ugly. But it's kind of not pretty to have no substance. You know, it's meaningless. Beauty is fleeting. It's not irrelevant. I love beauty, you know, but I don't know. They're successful being pretty for the time that they're doing it, but I would really recommend that they do better, that they develop themselves beyond that. Oh, this sucks, man. This tree up here. This tree is really cool. I think I have a picture of me and somebody else standing in it. We took turns and took pictures of each other in the tree. But it has died this year because it was so dry. And it's all curvy. It's a curvy pine. It's really cool looking. I'll try and show you a better shot when we get closer. But a lot of the cool pine trees are dying this year. I mean, it's under 2%, I would say, but that's a very high percent of trees to lose in a year, or really it took them 2 years to die. Yeah, it's right over here. That's kind of be backlit, I guess. So that's one of the reasons I don't try and look good, and I get, comments sometimes about what an idiot I look like, or I'm ugly in some way or whatever, and it's just like, it's because I'm not even trying to be pretty, I just don't care. And I would recommend having that attitude yourself. Don't worry about it. Like, there's people, I read people online, they write about that they're upset, they're young, often they're very young, and they're upset about realizing that they're not the beauty standard that's ideal. And it's like, well, who cares? That's not what's going to matter long term anyway. In fact, it's dangerous to be too pretty or handsome, because people will give you stuff. You'll be rewarded just for that. And that's dangerous because you'll think you have value beyond what you actually have. The value you have is how can you think well? How can you treat people nicely? Oh, I heard there was a house being built over there. Yeah, cool. They're building a really tall metal structure along with their house. What the hell's going on over there? What is that structure for? I'd be very curious to know that. I actually have a friend that lives down from them, so I can ask him what the hell those people are doing over there. In this case, I would actually recommend that they plant a bunch of trees along their property line, probably cedars, and then top them off to keep them dense, because cedars lose their lower branches. But I would do a privacy barrier there, a big hedgerow. You could have a mix of all kinds of plants, also good for security as well. I've been advising people on their land development informally. I haven't been charging them anything, but lately I've been getting requests from people who want me to spend hours advising them, and I don't want to do it because it's my time. However, I would like to write up the many thoughts I have about how to develop and use land as food forest farming, and to live in a way that uses less energy. That's going to be a great place to live over there. And I don't want to sell that. I want to give it away. But if I give personal advice to somebody where I'm listening to their special issues, especially if they haven't bothered to read what I've already provided for free, and they just want attention, really, they're inefficient. There's such a thing as a dumb question, or dumb questions, is asking things that somebody's already given you answers for free, and you're not willing to take the time to consume that at your own schedule on your own time and really be able to process it. Instead, you want to do things a slow way, the verbal way of getting a consultation. But maybe I should offer that. I could do a very good job, and I shouldn't be maybe too critical of people who that's the way they like to learn. And maybe I could even say, okay, well, I'll only do it if we can record it. And that way, that knowledge, those design ideas, could be used by other people. So I wouldn't feel as bad wasting my life just talking to an individual, but instead, looking at the many variations of design things that exist. Like, even just from here, I look at that land, and I could give them a bunch of good suggestions. My neighbor down here, I walked around with him, and he's actually a super smart guy, so he didn't really need me. But I walked around his land with him when he first got there, and we talked about potential uses of that land, and he did not do what I recommended. But he's also not doing dumb things. He's doing really smart things. Oh, his dogs are barking at me. But maybe he will later. I don't know if he'll even remember what I said, because we didn't make a video, and that was for his privacy and everything. But also he's very busy. He's a very busy, smart guy, and so maybe he still remembers the things I said. But I am able to see the future of land use, and like this whole area in here, I would recommend he do pretty differently. So we'll see. Goodbye. I guess I give a lot of advice, and I never want it to be like I'm telling people what to do. Because I'm not telling anybody what they should do. You know, I hate being told what to do. Many people have told me what I should do with my life, but it goes counter to my own values and goals. And they're quite certain they're right. Well, then they should do that in their own life. You know, many of them haven't, you know, but they know what I should do. And I kind of tune them out pretty quickly. I mean, I listen at first, but if their arrogance is so high that they think they know better than I do what I should do with my life, you know, that I should follow their God or their religion or invest in a different way or focus differently or communicate differently, then that's nice of them because they really think they're being nice. But they're not. I mean, giving advice is one thing. And so I will state a lot of things that I hope you just take as food for thought. They're just ideas, you know. I'm in no position to make anyone do anything. And I don't want to be. And I don't like, you know, any government that does that either. Like most government policies that have goals to force people to do things against their will have unintended consequences that don't work out well. And they just put people in conflict with each other. And of course, if the state does it, they're using the power of violence, the power of force, to make people do the right thing. And it's like, that sets up a very bad relationship. You know, and it's not going to make people like that government. And, you know, sometimes those governments even do things like go to war on the benefit of other people, supposedly, but actually it's for themselves and their defense contractor friends. And they're doing it wrong. I believe that people should be free to do what they want to do for the most part. Probably the biggest caveat I have for that, the way in which we as a community should use force to control people's behavior, is when it affects other people. Whether they're attacking other people, and that happens, oppression is pervasive at the state level and the interpersonal level. And none of that's going to work out well. I mean, it does work for people. People make lots of money screwing people over, selling people inferior products, you know, lying about how things are, lying about their own motivations. You know, when somebody says they want to help me right now, my first reaction is suspicion, because almost none of them do. Like when I did get injured, people came out of the woodwork to try and control me and have me, like there's religious ambulance chasers, you know, that they see you as injured and weak, and then they're like, well, I have the solution. You have to follow my belief system that makes absolutely no sense. But they're really dedicated and evangelical, telling other people what the fuck they have to do. And it's like, no, that's the wrong way to go. So please don't take any of my videos as that. I have very strong opinions at almost a religious level of how we should live and how we should stop wasting water and energy and how we should change our lifestyles to be more in tune with living with the earth and supporting and enhancing it rather than destroying it. I hold those views very strongly. But, you know, I can't make people do that. And I don't want to put myself in a position of authority over anyone. If my ideas have any authority, it should be because they're really good ideas. And that they'll serve you. Oh, look at this little puppy right here. Oh, a cute little puppy. That puppy already has a home, so I don't even have to think about adopting it. This time of year, there's a lot of puppies. I know a guy who just adopted 4. That's a lot of puppies. He's in for a lot of work, being a dog daddy. There she goes. Yeah, she has a home. That puppy's not a problem. But I have seen places where people just dump dogs off. In fact, that's where my dogs have all come from, is they get dumped off in the street somewhere because somebody doesn't want to kill them. And I guess it is better than kill them to just dump them. I mean, dumping puppies sounds like a bad thing to do. It's better to sterilize your dogs, of course. All my dogs are sterilized. But, you know, I guess they did the right thing by dumping their puppies, because the puppy either dies or gets adopted. And I've adopted a lot of dogs over the years, and unfortunately they eventually do die. I hope I have one dog at least now that will live longer than I do, because I don't like seeing my dogs die. You know, some of them just disappear. They get got by wildlife, or some of them have been kidnapped, probably, dog-napped. And that's a shame when that happens, I guess. Although, whatever, if they like the dog enough that they're willing to steal it, maybe that means they'll give it a good life. And that's all that really matters. You know, that could be like a dog rescue service. In fact, that's something, if I'm looking for donations, I could probably, you know, state my philosophy of how I adopt dogs. And I'd have to do a better job at training them. I only vaccinate them initially against like rabies and heartworm and all that. And then after that, they're on their own. I don't, you know, go for the thing of you always got to, every 6 months, re-shoot them up. I don't do that myself. You know, I don't take good care of my body, but that's why my body's strong. You know, I drink unfiltered rainwater. I don't let other people drink that water because they might get sick and then blame me for it. And maybe I'll die because I do that. Maybe I'll get some parasite or something, and maybe I've already got one right now. But that's the risk I take. That's my choice. And once again, people will tell me I'm stupid. But no, I'm a science experiment. I have no obligations to anyone to do things their way. I don't have any children, so I have nobody that's going to get hurt if I die, which is both disturbing and also very good, because it frees me up to not have to care. And I'll probably even make some videos that I publish, or I have published after I'm dead, you know, because then I can't be punished for my somewhat extreme views. Because even being in favor of freedom for people is considered treason in many places. Because the government generally wants to own you. They want to own everything about you. It's a real shame that things work that way, but that's how they work. I'm getting into town now. God, it's so nice out with the rains. Walking around in the hot sun is not good. And today is pleasantly cloudy. It's really awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So back to that word love I mentioned in another clip. I don't use it. I had a girlfriend for 5 years. I don't think I ever said I loved her. Because I think sometimes when you tell people that, they up their game on manipulating you and using you, because they realize that they've got you in an emotionally weak position. And so I'm not going to do that. I think everybody should be ready to leave a relationship at any time, because the truth is that you know, people split up all the time. That should be an acceptable thing. We should just go into a relationship knowing we're in it voluntarily. And that could get rid of lots of abusive situations where people get abused because they become emotionally or financially a potential victim of another person. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who will take advantage of that. And that's not real love. It's manipulation. And it's not a good kind. So any relationships I get into in the future will be very different than that. And, you know, I've explored polyamory quite a bit and options like that. I'm not actually into open polyamory. I think it's often a loss of energy. And it falls apart. But the success of a relationship isn't that you stay together. It's that you serve each other well while you are together. You know, like my last girlfriend, the relationship had just run its course. She had learned all she could from me, and she was younger than me. I don't mind that. I don't think age gap relationships are inherently abusive at all. You know, she was a lot better off for knowing me. So, yeah, I have a bunch of thoughts about that. But everybody hates if anyone does anything other than what they think is the one true way. And it's just like, knock it off. It's just a horrible way to be, to judge other people so much. And of course I'm judging that, but with good reason. I'm almost in town. That was a quick walk down here. Town is really not that far, which is good because it means my legs are stronger now. Because for a very long time I couldn't walk at all. And that was painful. For a guy like me who likes my independence and being strong and walking far, that was really hard. I was using a walker and stuff, and I was in bed for 8 months, most of 8 months, slowly healing, and I still need like physical therapy. I still need like to stretch out. Like I have a hard time bending down, and it's just a lack of trying. I'm at my computer a lot, and then the only actual exercise I get is walking, which is very good, healthy exercise to have, but we're made to walk around, but I'm also made to run around, and I haven't been running because that's a whole nother level of difficult. Which road do I take? Well, I'm gonna go. I feel weird walking around town talking to a camera anyway, although hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people have seen me do it, so I guess I'm just one of those guys that talks into a little box a lot. It's because of you. I blame you. You feel bad? Don't feel bad. You're keeping me company. You know? I hope that my words serve you in some way. You know, we all got to serve each other somehow, and I hope there's people out there that have specific ideas that are useful. And maybe sometimes I'm just keeping people company who need some company. And I will say this, I do love you. Not you individually, I don't know you. But I have a generalized love for the world, and that's one of the reasons I'm so frustrated about the state of the world, is that we're making things worse in many cases. We should stop doing that. Gotta make things better for ourselves and everybody around us. Have some emotional control. Don't litter on people emotionally. You know, look for that win-win situation with everything. This is what I'm doing. That's all that matters. That's the only value I have, if I have any at all.